Welcome back, my friends, to your recaps. The film begins in the jungle, where a group of humans is desperately trying to escape from a ferocious tiger named Shere Khan. Among them, a woman clings to her child with her dress while running for safety, but her husband fails to escape and is killed by Shere Khan. Following this tragic event, another tiger named Bagheera discovers an abandoned infant in the jungle. Realizing that Shere Khan is nearby, Bagheera decides to rescue the child. From a distance, a snake named Kaa observes them and watches as Bagheera places the baby at the wolves' cave, knowing that wolves are kind and that this would be a safe place for him. A young wolf approaches to examine the child, but the baby unintentionally startles the wolves. Soon, an older wolf named Vihan arrives to assess the situation and is surprised by the child's presence. Noticing that the baby is unafraid of them, Vihan and his mate Anisha begin to consider what to do with him. At that moment, a hyena named Tabaqui rushes in, having caught the scent of a human. Tabaqui intends to devour the child, but Nisha and Vihan protect him, forcing the hyena to leave. Tabaqui then decides to report to Shere Khan, informing him that he has found a human child among the wolf pack. Meanwhile, Nisha approaches the leader of the wolves, Akela, and gathers the entire pack, expressing her desire to keep and raise the child herself. After some deliberation, Akela and the Wolf Council agree, allowing the child to stay. Suddenly, Shere Khan arrives and interrupts the meeting, declaring that he wants the child for himself, as he was the one who killed the boy's parents. However, Akela refuses his demand and orders him to leave. Shere Khan warns Akela against defying him, but due to his injuries, he is unable to fight. The wolves band together, intimidating him into retreating. After Shere Khan departs, Akela proclaims that the child is now one of them and will be raised as part of the pack. Years pass, and the boy grows up, earning the name Mowgli. Bagheera trains him in the art of hunting, and one day, Mowgli embarks on his first attempt to catch a deer. Mowgli is surprised when he meets a bear named Baloo, who teaches him the importance of focus and calmness. During one of the training exercises, Baloo lets a scorpion crawl on Mowgli's body to help him stay still and unafraid. Mowgli succeeds in remaining calm, but later he begins to wonder why he is different from the rest of the wolf pack. Bagheera reassures him, saying, "You are special, not different." Later, as Mowgli runs alongside the wolves, he suddenly stops when he spots a human village in the jungle. This is the first time he has ever seen creatures that resemble him, and he is left in awe. Soon after, he meets a wolf named Boot, who is unlike the other wolves. Since they are both different from the pack, they become best friends, playing together and exploring the jungle. When they return to the cave, Mowgli rushes to greet his adoptive mother, Nisha, while Boot faces bullying from the other wolves for being different. Nisha quickly intervenes and commands them to stop. The next day, Baloo teaches Mowgli and the wolves a new lesson. He tells them, "In the jungle, we are all at risk. Any animal can be hunted, so you must learn to run and evade predators. That's why I am giving you a test. Bagheera will chase you, and whoever gets caught will lose and will not be accepted into the wolf pack. But remember, no wolf I have ever trained has failed this test." They begin their training, sprinting through the jungle. However, Mowgli struggles to keep up and soon tires, stopping to drink water. At that moment, a monkey appears, showing Mowgli a piece of fruit, using it as bait to lure him closer. Mowgli reaches out, but Baloo swiftly intervenes, warning him, "Never interact with the monkeys. They live without rules, and their actions are always unpredictable. Stay away from them. They are all foolish, and fear no animal in the jungle, except for Kaa, the serpent." Curious, Mowgli asks, "Who is Kaa?" Baloo responds, "Kaa has lived in this jungle for a very long time. He has the ability to see both the past and the future." While they were talking, they noticed a dead cow lying in a brutal manner, clearly indicating that a predator had killed it. Claw marks on a nearby tree revealed that the culprit was none other than Shere Khan. Realizing the danger, Baloo hurried back to the wolf pack to inform them of what he had seen. "I believe Shere Khan killed the cow and left it near us as a clear message of threat," he said. Fear spread among the pack as they understood that Shere Khan would return. They turned to their leader, Akela, and said, "If Shere Khan comes back, that means keeping Mowgli with us puts us all in danger. We should never have let him live among us." They demanded that Mowgli be handed over to Shere Khan, but Nisha stepped in, firmly rejecting the idea. Akela decided to consider the matter carefully and gathered Baloo and Bagheera for counsel. "Shere Khan wants to declare war on us," he told them. "He knows that I am growing old, and he will take advantage of that to spread chaos in the jungle." Bagheera suggested sending Mowgli to the human village, believing it to be the safest option since Shere Khan would never stop hunting him. But Akela had a different plan. The human village is expanding every day, he explained. They have already started encroaching on parts of the jungle, and soon they will come close to our cave. Because Mowgli is human like them, he might be our only hope to protect the animals here and prevent the humans from advancing further. Then Akela turned to Baloo and said, I want you to train Mowgli to pass the running test so he can survive among the wolves. However, the next day Baloo had a different perspective. Instead of training Mowgli to run like a wolf, he taught him how to use his hands to leap between the trees. At first, Mowgli fell several times, but over time, he showed great improvement and eventually managed to grab onto a tree trunk and hold on tightly. After completing his training, Mowgli went to swim in the river, diving underwater to play with the fish. But within moments, Shere Khan arrived at the riverbank to drink. Realizing the danger, Mowgli quickly hid himself, pressing his feet against a rock at the bottom of the river to remain completely still until Shere Khan left. Once the tiger had moved on, Mowgli emerged from the water and started running. Unfortunately, Shere Khan spotted him and gave chase. Luckily, Mowgli accidentally fell into a trap set by the humans. Despite the fall, he was unharmed and completely safe. Later, an elephant emerges from the pit, revealing that one of its tusks is broken. Bagheera arrives to check on Mowgli and then takes him back to the wolf pack. That night, they spot a group of humans near the river. Bagheera tells Mowgli the humans are searching for the tiger that killed their cow, but it won't be an easy task for them. Shere Khan is a fierce and dangerous predator. The jungle is no longer safe for you, so you must go somewhere he cannot find you, the human village. Mowgli, shocked, asks, why should I go to the human village? Bagheera replied, because you are human. You are one of them. Mowgli is stunned and insists, I am not human. I am a wolf. Bagheera then tells him the truth. Shere Khan killed your parents years ago when I found you as a baby. I brought you here. Since then, he has been hunting you. Determined, Mowgli says, the wolf pack will protect me and I will pass the running test. Later, Mowgli sneaks away to observe the humans, trying to understand how they live. As he watches, he notices Tabaqui sneaking into the village as well. Suddenly, Tabaqui's tail accidentally touches fire, causing him immense pain. He quickly jumps into the water to extinguish the flames. At that moment, Mowgli realizes that fire can be used as a weapon. The next day, Mowgli's test begins, his chance to prove he deserves a place among the wolf pack. He stands alongside the wolves as the race starts, but instead of running like them, he takes shortcuts, using his hands and feet to navigate the terrain more effectively. During the race, Bagheera tries to catch him, but Mowgli swiftly climbs a tree and escapes. He keeps running and is about to reach the finish line when, at the last moment, Bagheera leaps onto him and holds him down. As a result, Mowgli loses the race, while the other wolves emerge victorious. Mowgli felt deep sadness, believing that Bagheera had only chased him because he was the weakest. Then Baloo told him, you weren't careful enough. Mowgli was displeased with his words and replied angrily, everything I learned from you was useless. He then ran off alone into the jungle, feeling lost and frustrated. As he wandered, he recalled Baloo's warnings about the monkeys, but ignored them when he saw one holding a fruit. He tried to grab it, but the monkey kept playing with him, distracting him completely. Suddenly, Mowgli felt strong hands grab him. He had been kidnapped. Meanwhile, Boot witnessed what had happened, while Baloo was angrily shouting at Bagheera, saying, you were targeting Mowgli alone. He was in the lead and was about to win. Their argument escalated, and Bagheera retorted, he had to lose because he can't stay with us. Shere Khan will kill him. They kept arguing until Boot intervened, saying anxiously, Mowgli has been kidnapped. The two immediately panicked and set off to find him. At the same time, the monkeys had taken Mowgli to Shere Khan. He struggled to break free, but they struck his head against a rock, knocking him unconscious. When he woke up, he found Shere Khan standing before him, who quickly clawed at him to wake him up completely, preparing to devour him. At the critical moment, Baloo and Bagheera stormed in. The monkey tribe immediately attacked them, and due to their overwhelming numbers, they managed to overpower Baloo and Bagheera, separating them from Mowgli. Shere Khan advanced toward the boy once more, but suddenly the great python Kaa appeared and intervened to protect Mowgli. With a calm yet commanding voice, Kaa said, leave him alone. Shere Khan hesitated, realizing he did not want to face Kaa, and reluctantly backed away. Mowgli briefly regained consciousness and saw Kaa before him, puzzled as to why she had saved him. Later, he was taken to a lake to treat his wound. As he wondered why Kaa had saved him, he found no answer. A few days later, Mowgli watched the wolves hunting and felt sorrowful, knowing he no longer belonged with them. Noticing his mood, Boot approached him and tried to cheer him up, saying, one day, we will join the wolf pack and hunt like them because, in the end, we are wolves just like them. But Mowgli felt anger and frustration. He turned to Boot and said, "We are not like them. We are just misfits. Stop convincing yourself that you're special. You're just like me. There's something wrong with us." Boot was deeply hurt by Mowgli's words and walked away in silence. A few moments later, Mowgli began to regret what he had said, but he couldn't find a way to take it back. That night, Mowgli decided to visit the snake, Kaa, to understand why she had saved him. When he found her, he asked curiously, "Is it true that you can see the past and the future? And why did you save me?" Kaa smiled and replied in a calm voice, "Haven't you wondered why the elephant pulled you out of the pit? The entire jungle is watching you because you are not ordinary. Your destiny is not to be just an ordinary human or an ordinary wolf. You are meant to rule the jungle. That is why I was there to save you. One day, you will meet a certain person, and from that moment on, the entire jungle will be under your command." Meanwhile, the wolves were out hunting. Akela tried to catch a gazelle, but failed and fell to the ground. The wolves were shocked to see him struggle, realizing that age had caught up with him and that he was no longer as strong as before. When Akela returned to his cave, he was met with an unexpected sight. Shere Khan and the monkey tribe were already there. Akela stood tall and said firmly, "This is not your place, Shere Khan." Shere Khan smirked and replied, "I go wherever I please, and no one can stop me." Akela's eyes darted to the side, where he saw another slaughtered cow. His anger flared as he growled, "The humans are retaliating against the jungle. They are killing animals because of you, because you keep hunting their cattle." Shere Khan let out a low chuckle and stepped closer. "You're the one to blame, Akela," he said coldly. "You brought a human into our midst and tried to turn him into a wolf. Even though we both know that's impossible, you are the reason the jungle is falling apart. That's why you are no longer fit to lead the pack. You failed to catch your prey, and we all know the law of the wolves. When the leader fails to hunt, he can be challenged in battle. The one who kills you will become the new leader." With cunning words, Shere Khan successfully turned the wolves against Akela. The pack began to rebel, and Akela did not resist. He knew that these were indeed the laws of the wolves. He stood silently, ready for the challenge, as the wolves prepared to attack. Mowgli arrived just in time to witness the scene, but before he could do anything, Baloo held him back and said, "You can't interfere. This is the law of the pack." The battle began. Akela managed to defeat several wolves, but exhaustion took its toll on him. He was no longer the powerful leader he once was. Mowgli noticed Shere Khan's presence and realized that if Akela died, he would be next. So he ran quickly to the human village, took a burning tree branch, and returned to scare all the wolves, forcing them away from Akela. Then he pointed the fire toward Shere Khan and said, "If I see you here again, I will burn you with this fire." Shere Khan was truly frightened and left. However, Akela asked Mowgli to leave, saying, "You have raised a human weapon against the animals. You have become a disgrace to us." Mowgli was shocked and looked at the animals, seeing fear in their eyes because of the dangerous weapon he held. He then wandered alone into the jungle. As he walked, he found himself surrounded by humans from all directions. Fear took over him, and he wanted them to stay away. But one of them struck him, knocking him unconscious. They took him to the human village, and when he woke up, he found himself locked in a cage. Mowgli was terrified, afraid of what the humans might do to him. He tried to break the cage, but he couldn't. After some time, the man who had captured him gave him a plate of food, but Mowgli didn't know how to eat it, having spent his entire life in the jungle. That night, Bagheera sneaked into the place and approached the cave. Mowgli was overjoyed, believing he had come to free him. However, to his surprise, Bagheera had not come for that. He said, "It is better for you to stay with the humans. Over time, you will learn how to live among them. Don't worry, everything will be fine." Mowgli was upset and said, "I won't be able to adapt to them. I've never spent a single day outside the jungle." Bagheera replied, "I was born among humans, and they placed a collar around my neck. I lived in the king's palace, locked in a cage just like the one you are in now. I was their source of entertainment. I stayed there for many years. At first, I tried to break the cage and bite anyone who came near me, but later, I decided to gain the humans' trust. So do as I did, earn their trust." Then Bagheera left. The next morning, Mowgli was surprised when Jon handed him a dagger and taught him how to cut a piece from the deer and eat it. Then Jon said, "I noticed the injury on your shoulder and realized that a tiger was the one who did this to you." He then showed Mowgli a scar on his stomach, adding, "We share the same enemy." Later, a woman named Misu came and took care of Mowgli. She cleaned him up thoroughly, dressed him in new clothes, and gave him shoes. Bit by bit, Mowgli started learning the ways of humans. He walked around the village, observing how they interact. Jon also taught him how to aim with the dagger, and due to his quick learning ability, Mowgli mastered it fast. Afterward, Jon gave him a chain to hang the dagger on, so he could use it for hunting. Mowgli thanked Jon and hugged him. The children his age grew fond of him and included him in everything they did. One day, a wolf came to meet Mowgli, who was delighted to see him. The wolf said, "Shere Khan has taken over our cave. Some wolves have joined him, while the rest remained loyal to Akela and now live with him. But we no longer have a place to stay. Those who sided with Shere Khan keep coming to threaten us." Mowgli replied, "That's not my concern anymore. These are no longer my problems." The wolf insisted, "Shere Khan won't stop killing the humans' cattle, and we fear their retaliation. We need your help to convince the humans to kill Shere Khan." Mowgli responded, "None of the wolves helped me when I was cast out, and now the human village has become my home." Later, Mowgli joined a celebration held by the humans. He was extremely happy among them, glad that they accepted him as he was. At night, he overheard Jon talking to the villagers about Shere Khan. Jon said, "Shere Khan is a very smart tiger. He knows how to hide his tracks. But one day, I will hunt him down." Someone asked him, "Have you ever failed in a hunt?" Jon replied, "Only once. I tried to hunt an elephant, but failed. However, I did manage to get one of its tusks." Later, Mowgli helped Jon back to his tent. As Jon was drunk and unable to walk, while inside, Mowgli examined Jon's collection of trophies from his hunts, only to discover the head of his friend Boot. Realizing that Jon had hunted him, Mowgli was devastated and wept for his lost friend, unable to sleep the entire night. In a fit of rage, he decided to kill Jon in his sleep, but hesitated when he saw the elephant's tusk, the same elephant that had once saved him. This made him reconsider his plan. Instead, he took the tusk and went to the elephant, saying, "I will show you the person who broke your tusk, but only if you help me kill Shere Khan." Mowgli then approached Akela and the wolves, seeking their help. However, Akela responded firmly, "I would rather die than break the laws of the jungle." Mowgli retorted, "The jungle has changed, and I no longer follow any laws." But Akela refused, insisting that the laws of the jungle were sacred and must never be broken. Seeing that none of his friends would join him, Mowgli resolved to face Shere Khan alone. He went to a vast clearing and called out Shere Khan's name as loudly as he could, challenging him. Shere Khan soon arrived, and Mowgli immediately signaled for the elephant. But instead of a single elephant, an entire herd appeared. Furious, Shere Khan charged at Mowgli, but the elephants blocked his path. A fierce battle ensued, with the elephants' roars echoing across the jungle. The noise was so intense that the humans in the village heard it and rushed to witness the scene. Mowgli stabbed Shere Khan with his dagger and climbed onto him, but the tiger threw him off. Quickly adapting, Mowgli jumped from tree to tree, just as Baloo had taught him, while Shere Khan desperately tried to catch him. However, the tiger got stuck between the branches, giving Mowgli the perfect opportunity to retrieve his dagger and stab him again. From a distance, Jon attempted to shoot Shere Khan, but Mowgli pointed at him and told the elephant, "This is the man I told you about." At that moment, Baloo, Bagheera, and the wolves decided to step in and help Mowgli. Shere Khan was trying to escape, fearing Jon, who was attempting to shoot him from a distance. However, by mistake, Jon's bullet struck Mowgli, causing him to fall to the ground. Seizing the opportunity, Shere Khan turned back to finish him off, but Akela intervened and attacked the tiger. At the same time, Jon was still trying to kill Shere Khan, but the elephant stepped in, charging at Jon and throwing him far away. Shere Khan got back on his feet, unharmed, while Akela lay on the ground, having been hit by Jon's bullet. Baloo, Bagheera, and the wolves arrived, making Shere Khan hesitate and step back in fear. Mowgli rushed to Akela, checking on him. With his last breath, Akela apologized for doubting him and said, "Your time has come. You are now the leader of the wolves." Mowgli was deeply moved by his words and gripped his dagger tightly as all the humans gathered to witness what would happen. For the first time, both humans and animals came together to watch the same event. Mowgli saw Shere Khan exhausted from the fight. As he approached him, the tiger suddenly lunged to attack, but Mowgli was faster. He stabbed him first. And so, Mowgli succeeded in freeing the jungle from Shere Khan, as all the animals cheered for him, recognizing him as the king of the jungle. With both Jon and Shere Khan gone, the jungle's future was finally secure. Thanks to Mowgli, humans and animals could now live together in peace. Please, if you like my content, support me with a like and subscribe to the channel. Have a nice day, my friend.